That was Alicia Sincera. What a beautiful way to begin the show. Thank you so much for sharing your words and your experiences. So beautiful. Are we doing good with the poetry out there? We're doing good. I see some snaps. I see some claps. That's awesome. I like it. I'm here for it. Well, folks, we have another amazing artist that is going to be coming up to the stage right now before we take our intermission, where you'll have the opportunity to talk with these incredible artists, support them, and just have a good old time, folks. Let's go ahead and give a round of applause as we bring up our next incredible artist. Please give it up for Jezuz, Solis.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. So as Miss A.B. said, my name is Jezuz. I'll get to that eventually. But you can call me Jay. Either one is fine. I am a first-generation Mexican immigrant. I am queer, if that wasn't like obvious to you. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and share my experience. So I am the oldest in a family of 3. So what that means for me is that in my family, I have been the one that assimilated the quickest to the furthest extent. That just means I had to help my family move through a lot of systems at a very young age. I moved here when I was about 6 years old, and having to move an entire family through an entire, new system at the age of 6 years old is kind of a lot. So a lot of my poetry really talks about that, the experience that kind of, leaves you with. So this first one is called Assimilation. I've grown tired of hating my skin, hating my nose's defining tip, the way my shoulders tip, holding everything within. Expressing as I do and expecting to only get whiteness. It's a preference disguising self-hate. But oh, that sweet, sweet flavor of assimilation. Thank you. My vibe is kind of weird heavy when I do poetry. I'm very as a person, but it does get kind of heavy sometimes. So if you need to get up, walk around, take a moment, I completely understand. But yeah, with that, let's keep it pushing. So, with growing up the way that I did and growing up in a lot of immigrant situations, a lot of really stressful situations, I had a lot of feelings of being unwanted as a child, and that kind of stretched into my early 20s. And don't worry, I've gone to therapy, I'm still in therapy, I'm working on it. But yeah, with the added layer of queerness, right, that's another layer of feeling unwanted. There is just a lot of unpacking that has to happen and a lot of really intentional work that has to happen. I think that this is something that also really comes through for me when I meet people that I personally am like, oh wow, I really like you. And then there's just that underlying feeling of but could you even possibly want me, right? So this next poem is called What If? What if? What if it worked? What if it becomes the most epic, soft, and beautiful thing? What if this goes way far beyond anything either of us could have possibly imagined? What if? What if in a frenzy we find ourselves steady for a moment too long? What if? What if your hand brushes mine and I keep it from sliding? What if? What if in that moment we find ourselves unable to escape the gravity pulling us in? What if? What if? What if in the back of my mind I've already decided how this ends? What if the glittery haze of interest inserts its fangs into your neck, leading you to exit? What if? What if it ends the way it begins? What if? What if, in this process, I realized that I was the prize? What if? What if? What if?
Woo! Woo! That was so good. So good.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, weird heavy, that's my vibe.
So beautiful.
So this next one is called Home Nevada. I wrote this for the TEDx speaker series that was here last year. It was specifically for environmental climate change. My background educationally is geology and like toxic waste reclamation, but I do poetry instead.
Right.
So,
Save the world another way.
exactly, through love. But yeah, I wrote this one specifically about climate refugees as someone who has, come to a different country for reasons that are a little bit more complex than I will dive into here. Yeah, it's something that kind of speaks to me very much so. But when I wrote this specifically, I was thinking about the children in my family. As I've kind of worked on myself, I was prompted to really dive deep because my siblings started having children. We have 3 small children in our family, the oldest of whom is 3 years old. But yeah, I realized I cannot provide these children with something that I did not have for myself. So there was a lot of intentional work in that way, but this one is called Home. Shifting, like the ground beneath our feet, shifting, sifting. I'm sorry, I'm gonna start again.
Go, poet.
Shifting, like the ground beneath our feet, shifting, like the people that we used to be, sifting through broken promises, stacked high as Everest, and we ever is clear about our footing. Because this is our home. This is our home. And it's the home of our children. And I know that they will have to hold our undoing. They will have to hold what we wouldn't, what we should have but couldn't. But I will show them how to love, how to tend, how to give back. Because the stars are telling of their future, and I know that when I look down, I will be proud, regardless.
Yes.
Because the giver of life will hold us her entire lifetime. I just hope that the children of our children's children get to see it. Because people are not simply reeling, they're devolving into needs unmet. Ideas are not enough. It's time to act. Now.
Let's go.
Woo!
Let's get it.
Yeah, so kind of continuing on with that narrative of the kids in my family, I absolutely adore those children. And they're not biologically my children, but it's a running joke in my family that these are my kids. Because, I would literally turn the world inside out for those children. So yeah, this next one is called Generation. First, I see myself in you, but never will you have to falter as I did. Jesus is your kin, my darling, you are divinely protected. Second, sweet girl, your smile is endless in abundance and love, and you are the spring after a winter's frost. Third, subsequent to tragedy, you were meant for us and us for thee. You will complete the Trinity like your Father, because the best things always come in sets of 3.
That's right.
Sweet children, my love will always be for you, unconditioned. I will teach you too to keep the torch alive. here's to the second generation.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I know I really cheated that line of like, and like, so thank you for writing it that way with me. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, that's so funny.
These next two poems I'm gonna do back to back because I can't promise that my eyes will stay dry. The first one is called Siren. They kind of represent two sides of the same coin. As Ali mentioned, and as a lot of you are part of the culture, and I'm sure other cultures know, there is often times within families things that you kind of have to keep very hush-hush. I'm not that girl. I don't know how to bite my tongue when I have to, and it bites me a lot of the time. But, you know, in kind of working on myself over the last few years, yeah, I've learned that sometimes you kind of have to, and I don't know, or just like, you know, facilitate the space for like proper, healthy conversation, but that's not always easy. So this first one is called Siren. I hope you like it. There will come a time when growth is not an option, when the weight of the world will have you find the sun again. A time when the sirens will call to help give rise to your ships from wreckage, seeing you off to voyage, again reminding of your power and your prowess, and oh, how they sing in your favor. As you reach up, rising, becoming a fully realized new being, and they will mourn the loss of you, as they knew, as the limitations of their life could do. But hate them not because they wouldn't root where you were meant to grow. But instead, love them and understand that your souls have been tied together lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, choosing to release and accept these situations as they are. Because in the end, it doesn't matter. No one should have to suffer for you or your growth. Whew. This last one is called Mother.
That's not your credit card, Elia. Did you get your credit card? Did you get that credit card?
I have a memory I can't quite place. Hollowing, cleaving out space between ribs. In my cage, a tall reflection effaced of all features leans back, unwilling to embrace. Because grace is seldom a virtue shown to those of us who shine bold and amaze. Mother, please, hold me as I weep. Scarred belly, that from which I rose, like the name of your mother, Rosa. A flower so beautiful she couldn't be kept from her savior. Recently, I felt heartbreak I know to be hers, because she never got to be. Mother, you never had one, but I wish you'd learn to be. For my siblings, yourself, but mostly me, because at least they had my childish guidance. And I'm sorry if this poem brings you anguish, but I hope that you can see that the child you thought you knew, much like your brother, never got to be, 8 years old and 6 feet deep in his psyche's depleted state. I hope to one day fix fixations placed on me through thought patterns taught and thought rejected on the decree that youth so bold with that eye so keen once foretold, who foresaw grief to come, but kingdoms to reign will come. Like moisture that the rains in the desert bring, seldom but always when needed. Mother, I have a memory I can't quite place, This pain, a visceral sight plucked between brows that you taught me to pluck like my wings, so that I'd never fly away. And I'm sorry that shrouding truth is a gift I was never given. Left ear to the heavens as her voice rings on days when Left ear to the heavens as her voice rings on days when I fly too close to the sun. Not to cloud my judgment, but to avert the collector's gaze. And though we've never met, I praise her. Jesus, my name, and what a lovely cross to bear. Seer of truth and fair fickle heart. I have a memory I can't quite place, for I know it's yet to come. The day we replace love lost in action's haste, roses will once again bloom on grandmother's grave and the gravity will lift, letting us save what we thought once lost. Mother, I hope for once you'll listen without aim. Mother, I understand your well-intentioned nature. But Mother, I need you to face your demons so you can face the child, your child, who never got to be. But all in due time. Thank you.
Yes.